This is your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Dr. Don's Weather is made possible by the Randolph County Commission, First Light Coffee, Roger Bell Auto Brokers, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House, and Bama Diesel Repair. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery, Southern Union State Community College, and the venue at 5 Points Farms. Here's Dr. Don.
Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Welcome to your Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. I'd like to say happy birthday to two of my grandsons this morning. Yeah, they were born a year apart, but they're born on the same day. Happy birthday, Remington and River, having birthdays today. Yeah, we are awfully proud of those two grand boys. Hey, look, let me tell you about some stuff that happened yesterday, and then we're going to get into the forecast as we deal with the 14th day of Hurricane Beryl. Well, no longer a hurricane, but still affecting the weather across the southeastern United States. We'll tell you about that in just a few moments. But late yesterday afternoon, we had some very strong thunderstorms across East Alabama and West Georgia. And social media went crazy with this. Now, it does look like a tornado. There is absolutely no question about that. I can't fault a soul for thinking this was a tornado over West Point Lake near West Point Dam. But, folks, there are a couple of telltale signs here that this is not a tornado. The biggest one being, if you'll look at that cloud, it's not rotating. Now, if that were a funnel cloud that is not touching the ground, it would still be rotating. And if you'll look real close at the video, and we didn't see the video until well after this was over with, all we saw was the still shot of this. And, of course, you couldn't tell whether it was rotating or not. But later, we found the video, and you can see that those clouds around that, what appears to be a funnel, are not rotating. That's the biggest sign that this is not a tornado. The second thing is, again, the still shot was zoomed in real tight, but you'll see the video zooms out for just a frame or two, and when it does, you can tell where the funnel cloud is located within the structure. It's in the wrong place. Tornadoes don't form in the middle of a thunderstorm structure or to the right of the structure. Tornadoes form to the rear flank of a thunderstorm structure, which, looking at the storm from the south or southwest, which this appears to be, that funnel cloud would be over to the left, all the way back toward the rain-free basin. So, wrong placement, no rotating clouds. This is what's commonly referred to as a scud cloud. It could potentially possibly be the beginning of a microburst, but this really looks like a scud cloud to me. In scud clouds are weird cloud formations, and sometimes they look just like tornadoes, and that's exactly what we have here. At any rate, this was called in to the Troup County 911 Center, and they actually activated the siren system in LaGrange and out on the western side of the county. And the problem we have with that, when you issue orders to activate the sirens without a formal tornado warning from the National Weather Service, then that's all you get are sirens. You get no information disseminated to the people that are hearing those sirens, so panic ensues. And golly, we had that yesterday afternoon for about an hour, as there was just no information out there as to what was going on, other than the sirens were blaring and you had this horrible-looking cloud sitting over West Point Lake that looked like a tornado. No question about that at all. But thank goodness someone caught this on video and were able to go back and look at it. National Weather Service was contacted immediately. I talked to them myself in the chat room. They were showing zero indication of rotation, and the radars were just not picking it up. And yeah, it does happen occasionally that we have a quick spin-up tornado that the radars don't catch. That happened in Randolph County not too long ago, but in this particular case, that's not what happened. This simply was not a tornado. So keep that in mind when you get into severe weather situations. Sometimes those cloud formations really look like it, but pay attention to where it's at and whether or not those clouds are rotating. If they're not rotating, not a tornado. Thank you, Town of Wadley, Mayor Donna McKay, and all the fine folks over on the West Bank for being a supporter here on Dr. Don's Weather. Also, Jamie Dukas, get your ducks in a row. Get in touch with Jamie by calling Jamie at 256-831-7770. You can also check out the link at the top of the video. Go talk to Jamie. Find out what he can do to help you with your insurance coverage and cost. Doesn't cost you a dime. What you got to lose? Get in touch with Jamie Dukas today. All right, let's talk weather. More showers and thunderstorms are going to be likely today as what's left of Hurricane Beryl barrels through Texas, Louisiana, up into Arkansas, Missouri later on today. How about 60 tornado warnings issued by the National Weather Service office at Shreveport, Louisiana yesterday? That's just in Louisiana. Doesn't include the tornado warnings around the greater Houston metropolitan area and all the flooding that took place yesterday in Houston. Beryl is going to go down in history as being known as that system that caused all the tornadoes. Tremendous number of tornado warnings yesterday. Probably going to see the same thing today, a little bit further to the north and to the east. Across East Alabama and West Georgia, we're looking at scattered thunderstorms today, becoming more numerous later in the afternoon and this evening. Drier air will return to the forecast tomorrow. Now, that's relatively speaking compared to what we've had the last several days. And then dry air in place through Sunday. So after today, there will be a slight chance of rain on your Wednesday, I-85 and south. But then after that, we dry out, at least through Saturday or Sunday of this upcoming weekend. And you can see as we take a look at the graphic there on the screen, if I can find the right button to mash, we will show you what we're talking about. There we go. The lightning risk for this afternoon storms pretty much statewide, and it's an elevated risk. See, these thunderstorms are very proficient in producing rainfall. Of course, the rainfall density of the rain droplets and the clouds bumping one another, that's what causes friction, and that's where the lightning comes from. So we should have pretty good lightning output again this afternoon, just as we did yesterday afternoon and last night with some of these showers and thunderstorms that will develop across Alabama and Georgia. Maybe a little slow getting started today, but I think by mid to late afternoon, we'll start to see some pretty big storms across East Alabama and West Georgia. Again, like I said at the top of this forecast, 14th day of dealing with Beryl in some shape, form, or fashion. The weather forecasters are ready to get this one done, and he is about dead. He's going to continue off to the northeast as a depression, and by 7 p.m. Thursday will be way pulled off to the north up into Canada and long gone from the United States. But you'll see the track for today coming out of eastern Texas across portions of central Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, maybe southern Illinois, then up there across Indiana, portions of Michigan, and then on off to the northeast. As the storm pulls off to the northeast, we could see more tornado outbreaks today across Missouri, Tennessee, and then up into Kentucky. We'll take a look at the radar in just a few moments. I'll show you what we are talking about. Looking at the current conditions at the venue at 5 Points Farms, currently 73.3 degrees. Feels like 75 out there already. No wind this morning. Humidity is 99%. The barometric pressure is 30.00. Dew point 73. Officially no rain at the rain gauge, but there were showers around yesterday. We did have some storms right there in the vicinity of the venue. So rain gauges typically ranging anywhere from 0 all the way up to an inch and a half in some locations with some of those storms yesterday. They're very proficient in providing rainfall this time of year. Very tropical in nature. High temperature yesterday before the rains moved in 91.6 degrees. We currently have cloudy skies outside. Sunrise this morning at 5:39, and the sun will set this evening at 7:54 p.m. Yep, it's going to be another muggy day. Heat advisories in effect for just about the entire area, again, with the exception of Cleburne, Clay, Randolph, where the dew points won't get quite as high as they will everywhere else. But it's going to be another hot, muggy day before that dry air moves back in tomorrow. 88 in Wedowee, 91 over in Franklin. We'll make it to 90 in Alexander City, and we'll hit 90 down in Auburn. Here's the 6-day forecast from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms, primarily this afternoon and early evening. 89 will be your high this afternoon, down to 72. On Wednesday, a 20% chance of a shower, basically along and south of the I-85 corridor. 87 will be your high. And then on Thursday, we dry out. Temperatures come back up to around 90. And we look at mostly sunny skies. On Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll get up to the mid-90s by the time Saturday gets here. And then our next chance of rain will be on Sunday with a 20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms, high temperature of 95 degrees. Here's your Southern Union State Community College live Doppler HD radar. You'll look over there on the left-hand side of the screen. You'll see what is left of Hurricane Beryl. As Beryl continues to truck off to the northeast, almost out of the state of Texas now, moving up into southwestern Arkansas. That trek will continue up across Little Rock and then right across the extreme southeastern sections of Missouri and then up into Illinois and Indiana. Now, where you see that flashing orangish yellow area there, that's where the best opportunity for severe weather will be today, and that would be across central southern Illinois back into western Indiana, and then down into portions of Arkansas and extreme northern Arkansas and Missouri. As far as the southeast is concerned, you'll see a flashing area along the Gulf Coast from basically New Orleans all the way over to Panama City. And that's because we could see some big thunderstorms blow up down there. We talked about this yesterday. As the storm continues to pull off to the northeast, it's rotating counterclockwise, which means it is still trying to live off of the Gulf moisture. Hurricanes, tropical storms feed off of the warm waters of the ocean. So it will continue as long as it can reach out there and grab moisture from the ocean. That's what it's going to do. And in the process, it's going to be dragging that moisture up across the coastal states or the coastal regions of the northern Gulf of Mexico today. So big thunderstorms, certainly likely from New Orleans all the way to Panama City today. And a handful of those storms could meander into southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, maybe even southwestern Georgia as the day goes along. But don't look for organized severe weather across East Alabama and West Georgia. Now, one thing we will have to keep an eye on, you'll see this one feeder band moving through Mississippi. Coming up on Jackson, Mississippi. Once we get the heat of the day going, these things could flare up pretty strong. And a few of those could make it over into West Alabama, Northwest Alabama, maybe as far east as Birmingham. So we'll have to watch that as we get into the afternoon. But I think East Alabama and West Georgia is just simply too far away from the center of what's left of Beryl for us to see any major severe weather threats here in East Alabama and West Georgia. Now, having said that, we will have thunderstorms this afternoon, and you know what I do. I preach to you about these summertime afternoon thunderstorms. They can be very strong and in some cases severe with little warning. So if the skies start to darken, you hear thunder off in the distance, it's time to go to a safe place until the storm passes. Regardless of whether we have watches, warnings, or any severe weather in the area, you got to respect these storms in the summertime. They can be just as deadly as any other time of the year, with or without warnings out there. So just because somebody's not screaming at you telling you to take cover doesn't mean you shouldn't take cover. Take personal responsibility, look at the storms, make that decision, and the best course, the least course of regret is to go indoors until that storm passes. That way you will be safe. That's my morning sermon. Don't forget to head over to our weather store. You see the link right there on the screen. There's a clickable link at the top of the video on Facebook, bottom of the video on YouTube, or you can pick up a Dr. Don coffee cup, a t-shirt, or a baseball cap. Part of the proceeds of the sales of those items come back to support us here at Dr. Don's Weather. Also, make sure you share us on social media. Do all that stuff. Share us, like us, share us with your friends, subscribe to us, follow us. Do all those things on Facebook and YouTube every single day. That helps us tremendously, and we appreciate you for doing that. If you own a business and you'd like to be a partner with us here on Dr. Don's Weather, just send us a message on Messenger. I can have you started by the time we do our very next weather forecast, which, if the good Lord's willing, the creek don't rise, will happen first thing tomorrow morning right here on Dr. Don's Weather.
This has been your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Southern Union State Community College, the venue at 5 Points Farms and Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery. Dr. Don's Weather is supported by the Randolph County Commission, First Light Coffee, Roger Bell Auto Brokers, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House, and Bama Diesel Repair. Be sure to like us on Facebook, share us with all of your friends, and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow morning with another edition of your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather.